What's going on, guys? My name's Theoatrix and welcome to 100 tips and tricks for old school. My 101 tips and tricks video was very popular, so this video is a sequel to that. So here's 100 tips and tricks for OSRS. A tip for blackjacking: when you fail to knock out the thug, if you swap your weapon and then try to knock them out again, a dialogue will come up which stops the thug from attacking you. Another blackjacking tip: if your inventory is full, you won't accidentally pickpocket the thug since you can't receive any coin pouches. This means you should use jugs of wine from the nearby bar since they leave your inventory full. One of the fastest ways to remove a skull is by going to the Myths Guild and reminisce at the Pool of Dreams to the east. If you select to reminisce the Galvek fight and die, you spawn outside with your skull removed. If you begin harvesting a patch, then instantly use an item on the compost bin, you can harvest and fill the bin at the same time. This is a bit tricky to pull off though, so it's not really viable. If your cat catches 100 rats, you can speak to Gertrude in Varrock to get a cat training medal. This is a tradable item, but is not available on the Grand Exchange. When you're raising a cat, you can use a ball of wool on it to give 1 hour of attention instead of 30 minutes. At low firemaking levels, it takes a little while to light a log. Well, if you use firelighters on the log, it guarantees that you light it on your first try. This is very useful for low-level firemaking training. A tip for Zora is to go, "Hey, get out of my video."
Hey, what about my world?
Wait, what? Are you from a kid's game?
That is not true. Hero Wars has vibrant graphics, cool gameplay, and a user-friendly interface.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah, tell them more about it.
This video is sponsored by Hero Wars. In Hero Wars, there's characters for everyone, with aliens, cyborgs, vampires, and more. I've been on Hero Wars for 2 weeks now, and I've only unlocked a third of the characters. I unlocked Chaba next, who is a very powerful tank. But I'm most looking forward to using Celeste. She can switch roles between DPS and healer, which makes her useful in any situation. There's no game like Hero Wars out there. There's so much depth to the game, and there's a range of strategies to employ. Hero Wars is easy to start, but assembling the perfect team of heroes is where the real challenge lies. Christmas magic has come for Hero Wars. From December 24 begins the best time to start playing. You can get lots of presents, new heroes, decorate the Christmas tree, progress through the advent calendar, and learn the mysterious story. Hero Wars is a world of 6 unique game modes, more than 300 Guild Wars servers, and 100 million players. You can play alone, or you can see who out of your friends is the best rank. So download by using the link in the description, and with my link, you get 30,000 coins, 600 emeralds, and 5 awesome heroes to start dominating right away. So play Hero Wars now. Thanks to Hero Wars for sponsoring this video. At low runecrafting levels, you can use the Ring of the Elements to speed up making tiaras. The ring teleports you close to runecrafting altars, allowing you to get the fastest XP possible at a low level. If you bring stripy feathers to a fly fishing spot, you'll catch rainbow fish instead of trout and salmon. This requires level 38 fishing. Using ornament kits on your items saves you a lot of money when you die a PVM death. This is because you keep untradeable items on death, and ornament kits make items untradeable. Another fast way to remove a skull is by entering and exiting the gauntlet. By having your house in Prif, you can teleport close by. Leveling your combat stats is better than saving money for gear. For example, it's better to be 99 magic in Mystics than 85 magic in Ancestral. It's also cheaper. If you're doing the Heroes Quest or Legends Quest, you can join the OSRS SOA Friends Chat to find a partner. The chat is usually very full, so it's easy to find someone. Opening clue caskets on Entrana removes weapons and armor from the loot, and it re-rolls the drop. So if you're an Iron Man going for God pages, you should open your easy clue caskets on Entrana. In Brimhaven, it costs less money if you talk to Haggerty rather than quick boarding the travel cart. If you have extra spirit seeds, you can take them to Guildmaster Jane in the Farming Guild and exchange them for a tier 5 seed pack. If you take semi-charged jewelry to the runes guy at the Grand Exchange, he can decant them into their highest charge. He's located at the southeastern edge of the exchange. You can cast thralls while being on the Lunar Spellbook by using Spellbook Swap. This is useful for bossing, raids, and other PvM situations. If you type :mouse over text, it removes the text in the top left of your client. You can boost to use methods that you haven't unlocked yet. For example, you could use a garden pie for a +3 farming boost, allowing you to plant trees that you normally couldn't plant. It's slightly faster to use the Clan Wars White Portal instead of the pool when you're banking at the Ferox Enclave. Particularly before the Fight Caves or the Inferno, you should use the Ancient Mace special attack on a max hit dummy in your player-owned house. This gives you boosted prayer points. Wilderness Slayer is the fastest way to obtain Slayer points. Currently, you can get around 250 points per hour with a crossbow. You can stall Zulrah's magic phase by hiding behind the pillars. On Fossil Island, there's a squirrel named Maz that roams the volcano area. If you bring her an acorn, Maz follows you around the entire island until you teleport away or log out. While wearing the Builder's Trousers from the Tower of Life, the Beckon emote changes to a far more exaggerated version. During Olm's Flame phase, if you forget to bring water spells with you, you can use a vial of water to put out the flame wall. Fortified Missouri armor and Torva armor do not count as Armadil or Bandos items despite having Armadil and Bandos components. When you're going to God Wars, you can bring along an extra piece of food by juggling. To do that, you teleport to Trollheim, drop a potion, go back to the bank, withdraw another Trollheim teleport and potion, and teleport back and grab the potion off the ground. When using RuneLite, you can use the shortcut Control Backspace to clear your chat input. Also on RuneLite, when you're in the bank, you can press Control F to search the bank. In the Gauntlet, you can use a pestle on spare demi-boss drops for an easy 80 shards. Whenever you go into the wilderness for PvM, you should always turn on the PK Skull Prevention setting to avoid getting skull tricked. You can use quick prayers to prayer flick multiple prayers at once, like you could use ultimate strength and incredible reflexes at the same time. You can use platinum tokens to have 2 cash stacks in your bank, so you can have 1 cash stack for farm runs and 1 regular cash stack. When harvesting a herb or allotment patch, you can spam click the patch for a couple of seconds to harvest at double the speed. If you right-click the High Alchemy spell and select Warnings, you can enable an untradeable item warning. This is off by default, and you should turn it on to protect your Void and other untradables. If you speak to any banker and ask to check your PIN settings, you can add a 5-minute logout interval where your PIN is saved. This is vital since it saves you having to re-enter your bank PIN after world hopping. In your bank, if you go to the settings in the top right, you can enable the Bank Incinerator. With this, you can drag items onto it to have them removed from your bank and from the game. Another bank tip, by talking to any banker, you can ask to buy more bank slots. They're very expensive, but getting at least the first unlock is handy. Burying bones in the catacombs of Kurend restores prayer points. Regular bones restore 1, big bones restore 2, and dragon bones restore 4. This burying restoration effect also works with the Bone Crusher, so you should always be using it in the catacombs. For the Bone Crusher, it's useful to make use of the Mauritania Diary reward where you can exchange bones for bone meal at Robin. This saves you going through the Ectofuntus. While wearing a sleeping cap, the yawn emote is overemphasized and you fall asleep. Zamarakian brews give a higher attack level boost than super combat potions. At 99, Zami brews give plus 21, whereas super combats give plus 19. North of the Pest Control Bank, there's an NPC called the Dodgy Squire. Here, you can exchange void pieces for commendation points at a reduced rate, which makes it useful if you accidentally buy the wrong piece. Instead of paying for god books from Purdue, you should go to Josic in the Lighthouse to get them all for free. If you have two-factor authentication enabled on your account, you can spam click the question doors in the Stronghold of Security and it eventually lets you through. Port Sarim doesn't have many teleports nearby, but an underused teleport is the Rat Pits minigame teleport, which teleports you right to the Port Sarim docks. In Mauritania, players can fight swamp crabs, which are similar to rock and ammonite crabs, but these guys have a negative 55 range defense bonus. This makes them a great place to train a pure or to train your ranged. If you type /@p, it sets your chat box to public chat only. If you type /@f, it goes to friends chat, /@c is for clan chat, and /@gc is for guest clan chat. On the Grand Exchange, you can buy pantaloons, which change the bow emote to a more elegant bow. In the Guardians of the Rift, if you click to mine the Guardian remains and then open any skill menu, it automatically starts mining when the round begins, so you don't need to wait around. On the eastern side of Keldagrim, you can speak to Herko to get yourself a bolt pouch. This holds 4 types of bolts, which can be useful for saving space in the fight caves or Inferno. If you type ;display FPS, it shows your current frames per second in the top right corner. You can also type ;wiki and then any item or activity, and it automatically opens the wiki page closest to your search. If you have 3 Bruma torches and get another Bruma torch at Wintertodt, you'll instead get a Torstol seed. Similarly, if you have 3 sets of warm gloves and you get another one as a drop, you'll receive a magic seed. If you get a Jad or a Zuck Slayer task, you can skip it for free by entering and exiting the arena. If you speak to Shantae at the pass and tell him you're an outlaw, you get locked up in jail. You're then given the option to pay 5 GP to get out, and if you refuse, you're sent to Port Sarim. This also works in free-to-play and could be a useful shortcut on a fresh account. At the Urania altar, instead of following other players, you should use an item on them. This gives you better pathing and you won't get stuck. If you don't have many pets but want to populate your house menagerie, you can use up to 12 toy cats on it. In the Tombs of a Mascot, you can blowpipe spec the rolling boulders at Barber for easy hit points since it's a guaranteed max hit. If you ever forget your bronze axe for Brimhaven Dungeon, the bar in Brimhaven has one on the table. Shazian Boots 5 provide a +4 ranged attack bonus, making them a good low-cost option to use in the wilderness. Wearing a powdered wig changes the angry emote into a complete tantrum. If you're smithing stackable items like cannonballs, you should keep noted steel bars in your inventory, so when you need to bank, you just use them on the banker and hold 1 for fast banking. If you're skilling and collecting resources, to bank them quickly, you can use 1 on a deposit box and hold down the number 4 key to bank them all. Every time you go into the wilderness, you should drink an extended anti-fire potion. It costs less than 50 coins a dose and lasts for 12 minutes. If you speak to the ranged tutor in Lumbridge, there's a toggle to make ammo go straight into your quiver when you pick it up off the ground. Similarly, you can speak to the magic tutor in Lumbridge to toggle runes going straight into your rune pouch when you pick them up. With the Tile Markers RuneLite plugin, you can copy tile markers in text form and import them into your game. This is especially useful for the Hallowed Sepulchre. The magic defense of an NPC is entirely based on their magic level. So if an NPC has a magic level of 0, they have no defense to magic. Protect from Magic halves the amount of time you get teleblocked for, and also halves the duration of binding spells on the regular spellbook. The Protect from Magic prayer does not decrease the accuracy of enemy magic attacks. It only decreases the amount of damage dealt. So for magic accuracy protection, you should always be using magic boosting prayers. At Castle Wars, you can use an Arva's device on Lanthus and it activates the Arva's effect within the Castle Wars minigame. In your player-owned house settings, you can toggle to remove all doors from your house, which is better for pathing. In the Tombs of Amascut, there's no need to grab a hammer on the Barber pathway if you have a Dragon Warhammer. This is because the Warhammer works as a hammer when repairing the pillars. A fast way to get a new Slayer task is to go to your house, switch spellbook to Luna's, then use the NPC contact spell, and you can contact almost every Slayer master. The Saradomin Godsword special attack works on NPCs that null your attack. It heals you for what you would have hit, but shows up as 0. You can AFK some Slayer tasks in the Nightmare Zone. You can complete Black Demons, Trolls, and Hellhounds tasks by selecting their respective bosses. If you don't have a fairy ring in your house, you can add a Salve Graveyard teleport portal. This teleports you closer to a fairy ring than the Artie Cloak. Taking multiple charter ships costs less money overall. For example, you save 600 coins going from Catherby to Port Phasmatis if you stop at Port Sarim on the way. You get an invisible +7 skill boost when training in guilds. The woodcutting, fishing, and mining guild are all great places to train due to this boost. When doing a clue scroll in the wilderness, you can use a clue box to keep it on death. These are available on the Grand Exchange, but are almost 200k. On tree runs, you don't have to chop down the tree yourself. You can pay the gardener 200 coins to chop it down instantly, saving time. As an Iron Man, you should sell items to specialized stores to get more than alch value. Flared trousers change the dance emote. Instead of the regular dance, you perform a groovy looking dance. The crossbow counts as an Armadil item at God Wars. When you examine it, it says that it once belonged to a follower of Armadil. Composting your patch also reduces the chance of disease. So if you aren't paying for protection of a tree patch, you should always compost it. Casting magic spells on defensive casting gives you slightly more experience when compared to regular casting. Players who have completed Master and Grandmaster quests before November 30 can talk to Purdue to claim massive amounts of XP. You can also talk to other NPCs across RuneScape, and I've linked a video explaining all that down below. If you speak to Count Check in Lumbridge Graveyard, he teleports you one time only to Barbarian Village. This is handy on fresh game modes and accounts. You can place down a cannon faster by using each piece on the cannon one after the other. Instead of clicking on your cannon to refill it, you should use the cannonballs on the cannon manually, as this saves a few game ticks. In a single combat area, a cannon fires as if it's multi-combat if you're in a safe spot. Getting Zaros kill count for Nex is faster than all of the other God Wars generals. This is because Spiritual Mages give 5 kill credit and Blood Reavers give 3. There's some barbarian fishing spots near the Chambers of Xeric, so if you want to change up your scenery on the way to 99 fishing, you could go here. The Preserve prayer works for skilling boosts as well, so for example, you can prolong your Summer Pie boost while you're training agility. On Runelight, if you hold Control, Shift, and press the left or right arrow key, it hops worlds. This is useful to get away from PKers or for finding a world for bossing. You can click on your hit points orb to cure poison as long as you have an anti-poison in your inventory. This is useful if you're on your prayer book and need to cure your poison quickly. Anyways, that was 100 tips and tricks for old school. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more old school content. Also, be sure to check out Hero Wars, linked in the description, and a big thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Thanks for watching.